Hello and welcome to the October edition of the Great British Mickey Waffle. I'm Becca, your host for the show, and joining me today we have Ben, Sammie, Claire, Gill, Peter and John. Say hi guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Hi everyone.
The astute among you might have noticed that we're missing one of our wafflers, but don't worry, we will hear from Lloyd a little bit later.
We have some great treats for you on today's show and maybe a few tricks up our sleeves as well, including reviews of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Halloween Horror Nights. But first, let's head over to France with Peter and Gill to tell you about Disneyland Paris's very own Food and Wine Festival and see how that compares to Epcot's annual event.
Okay, well, Le Rendezvous Gourmand in Disneyland Paris in Walt Disney Studios Park has been running for 3 years now. The first year they had it, it was literally just a few stalls in Place de Remy that were showcasing specialities from the different regions in France. Then the next year they expanded it slightly so that they had some offerings from some of their near neighbours such as Spain and Italy. And this year we've also got Greece. So slowly they're expanding. Who knows, maybe next year they'll have Toad in the Hole and all the wonderful things that Britain has to offer. Who knows?
To find Rendezvous Gourmand, what you do is you go through Studio 1, which is the main entrance to Studios Park. You go round the partner statue, and it's straight ahead of you, straight up the road. There are the first few stalls, which are mostly the European stalls. And they go from there right across to the big statue of Buzz Lightyear in front of Toy Story Playland. You go past that and then down to Place de Remy, where all the French stuff is.
We'll put up some pictures of the various offerings because I managed to take pictures of all the different boards. We didn't manage to eat at every stall, partly because of time and appetite, partly because, just like its big brother in Epcot, it's not cheap.
Also, like its big brother in Epcot, there's nowhere to sit. There are tables, but you have to stand.
We decided to concentrate on things that we don't get to eat very often. So while I'm sure the pizza that Italy booth was offering was lovely, we've eaten a lot of pizza in our time, so we skipped that one. So from the non-French ones, the only one we actually ate from was the Spain booth. And in Spain we had gazpacho, which is a cold soup made with tomato, red peppers, garlic and cucumber. And that was absolutely delicious. We just had one little cup to share between us. It was really refreshing because it was a hot day. And that was absolutely delicious. And to follow it up, we also had Nutella Churros. Now, if you have never experienced the joy of those two words put together, Nutella and churros, you need them in your life. They were hot, they were fresh, they were yummy.
The other stalls in the European region, if you like, were Italy, Spain and Belgium. Also, there was Greece, and there was a vegan stall, which seemed to largely sell...
fresh fruit, basically.
Well, no,
falafels.
And
yeah.
There was a stall called Biscodette, which is a bistro of summer, which was alcohol, wine, beers, things like that.
Yeah, so summer in France equals alcohol, evidently.
And if you've been to France in summer, you know how true that is. Okay, and then so down to Place de Remy for the French regions. The places that we didn't eat at were Savoie and Breton. In Breton, we wanted to have the fish soup, but they'd run out. So all they had were the usual Breton pancakes, or galettes, as they call them.
I have to say the pancakes looked absolutely gorgeous, but again, we decided to concentrate on other things. And there were some lovely things in the Savoie stall as well. But again, we only had so much appetite and so much money. We went to the Antilles, which is kind of the French Caribbean. So it's not actually a region in France, but it's kind of the sort of French Caribbean islands. And we had there something called chicken Colombo, which I guess is what you have when you want just one more thing, you know. It has coconut rice, it's got chicken, it's got spices. It wasn't too spicy. It was actually just nice. Yeah, very nice dish.
In Alsace, which is very close to the German border, we had choucroute, which is sauerkraut with onions, potato, pork, and sausage. We also had a toto mirabelle. Now, mirabelle are baby plums, and this is baked with a frangipan filling and the plums. And we had Kugelhof, which is the cake made in the special Kugelhof mold, which you may have seen, which is the one with the hole in the middle. You may have seen it anyway. Anyway, they overcooked ours and it was burnt. We expected more. There was only one booth left, and that was Le Bar au Vin, which is a wine bar.
Yeah.
Which there you go. Overall, we quite enjoyed it. It is small, but it is growing, and I don't think it will ever get to the size of the one in Orlando. I think Studios is not that big at the moment, and I think it just kind of fits as it is.
I really enjoyed it, but yeah, it is very small. Don't go expecting something on the scale of Epcot's Food and Wine Festival. It's not meant to be like that. I have to say, I actually preferred personally the Christmas version, but that's because I like Christmas food. You know, give me some gingerbread and some mulled wine, and I'm happy.
I think that just about sums it up for the festival.
Yeah.
Any last words?
If you're there when it's on, give it a try.
Thank you.
What was the pricing like compared to Epcot?
Most things were about €6, and you don't get a massive portion. We did share, but still.
Some things pushed €8, which had more expensive ingredients in them. But by and large, it's about €6 to €8. So if you kind of imagine Epcot's going to be $6 to $8, this is €6 to €8.
Which, at the time of recording, is frankly not that much different.
Did you mention, like, when it's on? Is it only on during a specific set time?
So it started in July, and it runs, I think, until
13th of October. I was looking yesterday. So.
It'll be the wine bar she'll be looking at.
Yeah.
People will talk, Sammie. How very dare you?
They already do.
Did you find it was set up quite cramped where it is in Studio One?
Yeah, the Plasteremi bit was fine. There were stalls all along one side, and then there were tables set up sort of outside the shop. But the non-French bit was a bit cramped, yeah. There isn't that much room, partly because some of that area is currently behind hoardings.
But also, we went on a very busy day. It was a very busy time, and the already close paths were quite crowded.
It's not something we've ever done, but it certainly sounds an exciting way to go and spend some time at Disneyland Paris, and something completely different. You know, I think the costing part of it, again, as with Epcot, is obviously one of those things that's quite prohibitive, isn't it? And you really just have to pick carefully as you go around the park.
But also, so much is closed in the studios at the moment that, frankly, they need all they can get to draw people in and keep people in. They also have live music going, which is great. They had jazz bands playing and so on all the time we were there, so that's great.
And there was a wandering accordionist in Plasteremi, which sounds really great, but unfortunately, they were also playing the Plasteremi area music at the same time. And he wasn't playing the same tunes, so that was a bit of a jarring, but there you go. My one piece of advice to you would be, if you do eat from the festival, don't do the Tower of Terror straight afterwards.
Claire, you've just got back from Epcot's Food and Wine Festival. How does this compare?
Yeah, I was there in August. We went on day one to Food and Wine, actually. So, and I know we talked about in the August show the things on the menus that we thought we might like, and the things we didn't think we would like. I did manage to try a few things, but probably not as many as we had planned for lots of reasons, a little bit of rain. It was quite busy and it was stupidly hot, so we didn't quite get to all the booths that we wanted to. I won't talk about everything we tried. The one thing that I think did not live up to expectations at all was from the Hawaii booth, and that was the teriyaki glazed spam hash. So I went with huge expectations of this. I found out that one of my family absolutely adores spam. Personally, and please don't be surprised, shocked, I have never tried spam in my life. I've never tried it. I know jaws hitting the floor all over the world at that moment, but I've never tried spam. So a spam hash, which was cooked potatoes, onions, spices, and it had like a spicy mayonnaise on the top. I expected the spam to be like quite a firm texture. It wasn't. It was almost sludgy, and it was not something that I was enjoying. So I happily pass that over to the member of my family who loves it. I won't be going near spam in the future. Sorry for all the spam fans. I managed to try the duck confit poutine at the refreshment port, but they also do beef poutine, which has got like American squeezy cheese on the top as well, which I thought was better than the duck confit one. But they offer that all year round, so that was really good though. And we had that just before we left the park, probably around 6-7 o'clock, and it was really nice at the end of the day. The other thing that we thought was good was something we had last year, which was the Japanese teriyaki chicken bun. I actually went to the booth and I bought 6 in a go, and the lady had to give me a carrier bag to put them in. So and they were happily farmed out to members of the family. I think Morgan had 2. He was the only one who had 2, but they were really, really good.
Was it a bao
So
bun?
it is. It's quite a sizable bao bun actually. It's a good. It's probably the size of a cricket ball. So it's not a small thing, and it's the white fluffy bao bun with a filling of teriyaki chicken, slightly sweet, very sticky, really, really delicious, very, very easy to eat, and it just comes in like a little paper wrapper, and you can fit quite a few of them in if you like them. They're something you could probably just keep eating until you die or explode, whichever comes first. Becca, we did manage to try the ravioli carbonara. Are you going to get to Food and Wine when you're there?
Hopefully. So currently we've got about a list of about 23 things we want to try. So see how many of them we actually get today.
That's what we were like, because we had loads of things on the list of, yes and no. But we did try the ravioli carbonara. I would definitely suggest you have that. You won't be disappointed.
Oh, goody.
We did avoid the escargot. I'm sorry to say. I couldn't even persuade anyone they were scallops. We didn't find any chicken nuggets, Sammie.
Oh,
I know. We did look. But yeah, so we tried quite a few things.
Food and Wine isn't for me.
I don't think it is, to be honest with you. There's no nugs. It's not the way forward. But we did have the hummus fries in Morocco. I had them last year, and they were really, really good. Again, crunchy, and they're actually pretty spicy. So if you like a little bit of heat, they're good. But it was quite busy, and it was super hot. So places like Ireland with the sausage and mash, I can't do sausage and mash at 34 degrees. It's not happening. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's just approached slightly differently in America. It seemed to be a much more fluid thing. When I was at the Rendezvous Gourmand in July, it seemed that people went and they just stood, and it wasn't because it's where it is. There's no transit through that area really. Would you agree, Gill and Peter? It seems that you sort of go there, whereas in Epcot you travel through the World Showcase and areas, and you sort of walk through.
Yeah, certainly in the Place de Remy, I think people were just going to whichever booth they wanted and getting what they wanted, and then hanging around in that area to listen to the wandering accordionist versus the park music.
It's basically 2 straight lines, basically. One to the bus statue, and then one straight down Place de Remy. Yeah, lots of people just meander past and just dived into the one that they wanted, as opposed to checking out each booth as they went, which, being a circular format around the lagoon in Epcot, that encourages you, I think, more to walk around and try different things, because you're not just faced with this bank of stalls like you are in Paris.
Yeah, and actually we found there was more space there was definitely more tables in Epcot this year, less necessity to eat at rubbish bins. We found a table every time we needed one, so
yeah,
it wasn't too bad.
I must admit, Claire, that was something I noticed in the summer, and obviously we were there before Food and Wine, but amount of like high top tables where you could actually take food was really quite a new thing within Epcot, and I think it probably allows people that opportunity to just go and keep walking and then find somewhere to eat. It was a really useful addition, I felt.
I think last year there was a few. I think a couple of times we had to find a rubbish bin, but and even those were hard to find. There were people queuing to stand against a rubbish bin. But this year there was definitely more tables. And my brother and his family watched. They went to one of the Eat to the Beat concerts. And saw, I guess, 90s country legend Sawyer Brown. It's dredging my memory a bit. But they thought it was awesome. So we didn't get there.
Do you think, as we said, neither of them had seats, do you think there should be seats, or do you think people would just plonk themselves down and stay there forever?
Yeah, no, I think you'd find someone sitting there for half a day. By the time they've had 5 Grey Goose slushies, so not moving anywhere. So I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, Disney want to keep you.
I was about to say, Claire, are you talking about yourself?
From experience, no, not me.
So how long before My Disney Experience adds an option to book a space at a rubbish bin?
Cabanas.
Although they might make you book an area, because last time we did the Epcot Food Festival, they had I think we'd said, they had the special package that we had where you could sit down in an area and they brought the food to you. I think that they could do an upcharge for that again.
Yeah, possibly so.
It surprises me that they haven't actually, because that was worth every penny. But
I think they do an upcharge for a few things. So some of the seminars you can pay for.
Yeah.
We didn't do any of those, and actually things got a bit crazy towards the end of our trip, and we ran out of time, as everyone always does. You think you've got loads of time, and suddenly it's the day before you're going home. I think so. Some of the kids, things like making the frushi and the different things you could do, we just never got back to do. So we didn't get a chance. So Becca and Ben, you're going to have to do those when you go, please, and check them out. We have to pass the baton.
There was nothing like that in Paris. There was no real upsales for anything, was there?
Well, I suppose they charge high enough anyway.
No.
But it's very small yet. Who knows? I'm sure that if they had the space, they would expand it.
I think if they extend Disney Village, when they reboot that and they update it and D1990 it, there's probably the opportunity to do quite a lot out there in terms of festival. You could certainly extend the food booths out there. I know they have 5 or 6. They're pretty much there all year round. There's the pretzels, there's the candy floss and all of those things.
They got about 8, I think.
Yeah, you could probably extend quite a lot of those into the village, which would make it a bit more atmosphere rather than something that people walk through.
Yeah.
Also, the ones in the village tend to change with the seasons. They have some set ones, yes, but they tend to change with the seasons. So at Easter,
right.
They'll have certain things. Christmas, they have a lot of different things.
They do.
They do. So, yes, it could be useful to have it there. I think Disney are going the right way with Rendezvous Gourmand, but it's still young.
I think it's one of those things. Not a lot of people might go to Disneyland Paris for the first time and think, oh, it's just like Epcot, and it's like, oh, it's completely different.
It's really not like Epcot.
It's really no. Although when they get this lagoon, who knows?
It's funny because I think the one in Disneyland Paris is just so incredibly French. You know, we've got 5 stalls for the rest of Europe and 100 for France.
That is kind of what I liked about it, though, because I mean, I can get pizza anytime. I can get, paella, whatever, in my local market. I can't get regional specialities from different regions of France.
Yeah.
So that's kind
You find a couple of them really stink as well.
Yes, well, it's French. Yes. Yes.
Too. The Alps, is it the Alps one? Oh my life! It's the one where they've got the raclette cheese.
Yeah.
Or it really honks as you walk past. It always makes you gag. It's a real sweaty feet cheesy smell.
As a chef,
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of stinky French food. I know this because I'm a chef. Okay. Not my French cousins smelling.
Doesn't make it okay though. Just make it a little bit unnecessary. Anyway, now we've done bashing French people.
Who's next?
Moving on. Some really good points there, guys. And if you get a chance to try either festival, let us know what you think. Now, onto something slightly more spooky and some information on Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. We have our very own Dapper Dan Claire.
Can you believe that until 1995, Walt Disney World didn't really celebrate Halloween with a special event? The first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party was just a one-nighter in October 95, after the success of the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. It grew year on year slowly, with only 2 nights in 97, 3 nights in 99, and by 2005 it was over 15 nights, because guests were creating a buzz about this new hard-ticketed seasonal event. Here in 2019 we see 36 separate dates for parties, starting in that traditional time of Halloween celebration, the 16th of August. The last party, as usual, is the 1st of November, giving just a few days turnaround for the Magic Kingdom to de-pumpkin and get the festive Christmas and holiday celebrations ready in one of the most infamous decorative turnarounds in Disney Parks history. As a family, we attended the party on Tuesday the 27th of August and were remarkably lucky with the late Orlando weather, especially since the previous day had been marked with a monumental thunderstorm that had rendered Disney Springs in blackout and many attractions across Disney World in a standstill. It was our third experience of MNSSHP, as it's so often abbreviated to, and I think this was probably the best yet. For those who haven't been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, it's a hard-ticketed event at the Magic Kingdom, which essentially means that your ultimate ticket that we buy in the UK doesn't cover the evening at all. The additional cost ranges from $74 per person in early August to an eye-watering $135 per person for the 31st of October. For those hard-earned dollars, you do get a few special things. Pretty much as much candy as you can carry, a fantastic stage show featuring the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus, 2 opportunities to experience the Boo to You parade, which, in my opinion, is the best parade I've ever seen, the new for 2019, not so spooky spectacular fireworks, crumbs that's hard to say, and castle projection show, which replaced Hallowishes, along with other smaller golden nuggets like the Cadaver Dan's Barbershop Quartet, a Vampirina dance party, and more magic shot photo pass opportunities than at any other time. The one thing that's also expected, but not promised, is reduced crowds, as this ticketed event has a cap on attendance numbers. With adults and child guests given permission to dress up in their favourite Halloween costumes for the evening, then this event is really one to participate in, rather than just attend. So, whilst it's ridiculous to be wished a happy Halloween in August, the atmosphere and excitement from the cast members in their special Halloween costumes for the night makes the fun for the whole family. So, what do you want to know, guys?
What were the ride times like?
Yeah, the ride times. So it says you assume the crowds are going to be smaller. We found that the later the night went on, the better the ride times were. We did Big Thunder Mountain was about a 10-minute wait. We did Mine Train, and we waited about 15-20 minutes for Mine Train. That was the longest wait we did that night. Things like Pirates of the Caribbean, 5-10 minutes if that, and before the party started, there's a bit of it's quite busy between about 4 and 5 o'clock, where some people are, obviously the day guests are still there, the Halloween party guests are arriving, and there's that crossover period. But as soon as it gets to about 5 o'clock, 5:30, the crowds start to drop quite significantly. So things like Jungle Cruise, 10-minute wait. So yeah, it does drop off quite sharply after about 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a good call, that, Claire. We went last year in 2018, and we actually found that sort of little in-between time, the queue times actually really did take a bit of a dip, and we were fortunate enough we managed to do Pirates before they actually went into live actor mode, and then we came straight off and went straight on one of the first rides of the evening that had the live actors within the ride, with basically a walk-on. And I think one of the things I've found, certainly from that experience, is you either make a decision that you're going to go and queue for characters, because some of the queues for some of the rare characters was extremely long. I know we started queuing for the Seven Dwarfs at around about 7 o'clock, and the queue line then was well over an hour, and we decided to knock it on the head, and then we went back just after fireworks, and we managed it was a 20-minute wait at that particular time. And so it's trying to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I think you're right, John. I mean, we as a family didn't bother really with any character meet and greets. It's not something that we were desperate to do. If I'm spending $75 a ticket,
yeah,
I don't want to spend it standing in a queue.
Absolutely.
But we stayed later than we've ever stayed before, and that's probably because Millie's getting a bit older and was able to stay later.
Yeah.
But we definitely used to our advantage things like the Halloween fireworks and things. So we watched the fireworks from the side of the castle rather than in front, and were able to get onto Mine Train directly after they finished. So yeah, if you're a bit clever about where you are and what you're doing, it's worth sort of planning out the evening. The crowds for the first Boo to You were really, really high. We watched it from in Frontierland, and it was crazy. Trying to walk from Frontierland over to the Haunted Mansion after that, it was a huge bottleneck, and that was the one time we sort of went, oh, hang on a minute, there are so many people here tonight. And it was partly because the parade hadn't left Liberty Square, so there was just this massive bottleneck of people trying to walk from one side to the other in both directions.
Would you pay $135 though for Halloween night?
Absolutely not. No. I love it, and I love Booty, and I love Booty You. I love dressing up. I love the candy. I love the whole thing, and it's a great night. But there's no way I would pay $135 for it. It wasn't as wow as I thought. The whole parade's amazing, and there's been a lot of hype about the bride, Constance from Haunted Mansion. She is on. I hope I'm just not a spoiler for anyone. She goes along almost on a Segway, like the Flora Flora Merryweather in the Festival of Fantasy Parade. So she sort of glides along the ground, and it's very cleverly black. She carries a book, which is very cleverly blacklit from below, so it lights up her makeup and stuff. It's very good. And the Toy Story, the addition of the Toy Story floats, so sort of the Alien and Buzz, and then the Incredibles as well were in it, which was a bit odd. It's fun. Not really very Halloweeny, but neither is August, so I'll let them have it.
I think that's one of the key things, though, Claire, isn't it? I think for a lot of people who holiday in the summer, those August editions have actually become really popular, generally with British people in particular who are there summer holiday. You pay that little bit extra, and you manage to catch one of the first parties of the year. It still feels very weird walking around and it's baking hot and you're looking at pumpkins, etc., isn't it?
I know, and actually the Magic Kingdom transformed into Halloween. So when they start putting out the pumpkins on Main Street and all of the decks, that happens about the 12th of August.
Yeah.
Which I think is earlier than ever before. And we were really excited, 3 years ago when we realised we could actually catch one of the first parties. I think it was the beginning of September we thought. It was just amazing because we've heard so many things about this party that everyone else had been to, and we couldn't because we were never there in September and October.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened was. Yeah,
and it's really exciting. I was like, yes, I'm going to be able to go. and it was fab. But I would not pay the money on the 31st of October.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you, John?
No, I don't think I honestly would. However, I think if you didn't have a ticket, if you buy the party ticket on its own, then it then makes a little bit more sense, because I think for a lot of us from the UK, we'll go there, we'll already have a park ticket, and then you're paying on top of that. Whereas I think for a lot of Americans, if you're doing it as a special treat, you know, the park ticket itself for a day in Magic Kingdom is silly money. So $150 isn't a whole lot more than that. So perhaps you might get a better deal out of it that way.
I think for me the burning question is, did you dress up? And if so, what has?
Oh, we did dress up, yeah. And a few of you may have seen it on my Instagram, on @Claire's Disney Life. We dressed up. So we made our costumes, and actually enlisted the help of my mum, because she's an amazing seamstress. We dressed up as trolley kids from the Main Street Trolley Show. And so my daughter and I had coordinating outfits, and Morgan had a waistcoat, Dan had braces, they both had straw boaters, and we had a really cool experience when we first walked in, because when you arrive at the Halloween party, you don't walk up Main Street, you're ushered to the street which is behind Main Street on the right hand side. I don't know, it's got a special name and I can't remember what it is. So you walk what is normally closed off as a cast area, and as we were walking up there, collected our candy bags, one of the cast member team leaders actually stopped us and asked us if she could take our photo. And they have, I didn't know this, they have a competition that goes on through the Halloween party between the cast members and the team leaders, for them to find their favourite costumes of the Halloween parties.
Okay.
And she actually stopped us and took our photo. She said that we were going up on her board as her favourite costumes. So that was cool. Yeah, it was really cool. And interestingly though, most of the comments we got about our costumes were from cast members, not from other guests. You know, we had a few, it's the trolley kids, and our skipper on the Jungle Cruise was very animated about our costumes. So yeah, it was good fun.
I think unless you're not a big fan, but if like us, you know, you would need to be like decent fans to be able to know who you were, I think.
Exactly.
So that's why the cast members were.
Yeah, and that's partly why we did it, actually, because, you know, we saw my brother and his family dressed up as Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, Smee and Tiger Lily, and we saw loads of people dressed up as sort of show film characters and things like that, and we wanted to do something a little bit different with a bit of a nod to the cast as well. So yeah, it was sort of a geek's costume, I suppose. We saw some great costumes though. We saw a couple who were dressed up as Indiana Jones, and from Temple of Doom, the lady who's with him, I can't remember her name. Dan's told me over and over again. She was dressed up in like the sari with the jewels on her head, and then their son was dressed up as Shortstop in a baseball jacket and baseball cap and everything. That was pretty cool. We saw a guy in a full-on yellow feather chicken outfit from as in Al's Toy Barn from Toy Story.
Brilliant.
And respect to him, it was ankle to head, the chicken beak and his head sticking out, and he had an Al's Toy Barn sign hanging around his neck.
Wonderful.
It was absolutely brilliant. We saw him getting on the People Mover dressed like that. It was great.
I think this is something that passes an awful lot of people by, and certainly when I went, I wasn't aware completely of it, but we had friends who have certain food allergies, and as a result they couldn't just go to the general sort of stop-offs around the park. What they did do is they collected tokens, and then they came back to the front of Magic Kingdom at the very end of the evening, and they basically got as much of the, I think it was gluten-free in their case, but as much of the candy that actually accommodated their allergy. And this is a massive, massive thing that I don't think Disney make enough of, because they really do go to the nth degree to make sure that everybody who goes to the Halloween party actually is able to have their own haul to take away with them.
That's right. They actually give out a different coloured candy bag now. So for us, we had like the standard candy bags. The allergy-friendly candy bags are very different. They were bright aqua. As you say, people collect tokens and then go to, I think there was 3 designated points where they could go, and then they could take their basically as much as they wanted of the selection of allergy-friendly. And you know, the candy, as you go through the evening, gets more plentiful. I think on one stop, Millie got 3 large handfuls, like big piles, and her bag got filled in one stop. And I guess if you're looking for allergy-friendly candy, then it's a bit miserable because you don't get that experience. So they do replicate that when you go to collect from the allergy-friendly stop at the end of the night, I think.
Yeah.
How much candy did you end up with?
Oh, do you know what? We've got loads. I've still got 2 big carrier bags full. I think we weighed it and it was about 6 kilos.
Wow.
I think it will last till next year.
Last year's did. I still found some in the bottom of the suitcase when I emptied it to pack for this year. But there's some different. It was very much the same as last year. So it's M&M's, Skittles, sour Skittles. They're interesting. Some Starbursts, Dove bars, which is not the soap for British people. It's like Galaxy. And Snickers and Milky Ways, which are obviously Mars bars. And three Musketeers, which are Milky Ways, just to confuse everyone. But yeah, it's very much standard Mars and M&M's type things. But it's good. We had loads.
I think it's also worthwhile people who are going towards the end of their holiday recognising that all that candy needs to be brought home.
Yeah.
If you're on a flight that's got quite a tight baggage allowance, you could actually find yourself getting caught out.
Definitely. We were lucky this year because we had plenty of luggage allowance, but on previous years we've had very heavy carry-on bags. You know, emptying the suit, trying to think where you're going to put it all as well, because if it's in addition to everything else, we've had trainers stuffed with candy, and it's everywhere in your suitcase, and you just find it for months to come. Definitely.
We'll all go trick-or-treating at Claire's.
And can we not have the ones that have been in your trainers?
My trainers are fine. It's the rest of the stuff you need to worry about.
So with it being quite popular as sort of party like the Christmas one, do you think Disney are going to extend to other parties throughout the year? I know they've done like after hours, but
I guess they've put like the late party, and you've got the extra early morning magic for places like Toy Story, where you can go and get in at 7 and then have breakfast. It seems to be actually that they're encroaching on the core park hours and encouraging you to pay for some of those now a bit more than adding.
They used to have the Pirates and Princesses, didn't they? And I think the Pirates and Princesses parties, yes, they did. And the Halloween.
When was that? I'm trying to think.
A few years back
now. It was 2012, 2010 to 2012, 2013. And I think and they stopped, and I think Halloween's extended to kind of cover them.
It's a trade-off, though, isn't it? Because for every extra party, it means that you're closing the park earlier than other nights that year. So people start to get huffy if they've paid their money and they've come to Disney for their 1 week or 2 week holiday, and half of it they have special event nights that they can't go to without paying extra.
Yeah, there was also was it a villains party night throughout the summer in Magic Kingdom this year as well, which was again another paid for ticket. And I don't know, it gripes on me a little bit, I must admit. I think, I think one of the descriptions, it's like nickel and diming everybody for just that extra bit that previously was actually part of normal opening hours. And there's got to be a tipping point, I think, at some point.
Yeah, I agree, and it's interesting because you could still plus your Halloween party. There was still the dessert parties, 2 of them, one up on the Tomorrowland Terrace and one at the front part of the terrace. A special dinner in the castle. If you want to pay a whole load more money on top of your however much it is to pay for your party. So yeah, you can still impart more cash. I guess the balance is whether limiting the number of people that are coming into the park is going to generate more income in party tickets than the amount of money they would take as income if the park was open.
Yeah.
And I guess that tipping point comes if people don't want to pay it.
I have to say, from our very limited experience, we've been to the Christmas party 3 times, and it felt to us much more crowded than the park was during the day. I think because we went at a relatively quiet time of year, and certainly on our first trip, it was December 2010, and the temperatures were -2, so the parks were very much deserted a lot of the time. But the party nights were really, really busy. The first one we went to in 2010, it was scarily busy up near the hub for the fireworks. So, yeah.
We went with some friends, and one of them's in an ECV all the time, and he got knocked off his bike because his woman wasn't watching where she was going. So I wonder if there's a difference between the Christmas and the Halloween in terms of numbers. Are more people likely to go to Christmas than Halloween?
Do you know, I think it's probably potluck, because the first Halloween party this year was just apparently the first and the second one were really, really, really busy. We didn't find it horrendously busy, other than that one moment after the first Boo to You. Actually walking across Fantasyland to get to Mine Train, the place was deserted. So I think you're kind of potluck. We went on a Tuesday, and I think the Friday parties are probably busier.
I mean, we learned tricks like always go for the second parade, because after the fireworks, lots of people leave. So the second parade is much quieter.
Yeah, agreed. I think if you've got small children, that's not always possible. So, yeah.
We always stayed for the last Christmas, the last castle show as well, because the Christmas show, they have it several different times. So we always stayed for the last one. I don't know if that's like same at Halloween. I don't know how many times.
No, it's only once.
Sure, it's only once. Okay.
Yeah, it's once sort of about half an hour after the first parade.
Okay.
Judging by current wait times, I don't think I'd be paying extra to stay after hours. At the minute, everything seems to be like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, during the day? It looks incredibly quiet during the day, doesn't it?
Like, I think we looked yesterday.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. As soon as I get there, it's going to be like
next week. This week coming looks horrendous. I've seen the predicted part. It's all your friends and family going, Sammie. It's all your fans.
Of course, yeah.
It's going to be crowded with paps looking for you.
No, I think I'm just going to cough a lot, like you said, and just infect everyone on the plane.
Do it. The air circulation system, they'll all be sick.
Well, just cough a lot and people will move out of your way. You'll be easily
exactly
to get through the busy parks.
Are there any like Halloween Horror Nights sort of zones that involve people who kind of, cough a lot?
There's a zombie scare zone, but
might be thought you're a scare actor.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to trying this out next year. It's definitely my scare level, and like our next piece, it's over to Lloyd and Sammie recording from Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios.
So, everything done. We finished the night with the, what was it called, Mayhem?
Marathon of Mayhem.
Marathon of Mayhem.
Which is the Lagoon show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
good. It was good, yeah. I didn't like the way they messed around with the Ghostbusters theme.
Yeah, I did some drums.
No, it was a bit too poppy. I think it would have been better if they just kept it a bit basic. Stranger Things, they did the kind of same thing, but that was kind of cool in the show.
Yeah, I like to kill our clowns better.
Yeah, that was alright, but that freaked me out. It was horrible. And then after the show, Sammie met the Killer Clowns.
So did you?
And I did. And it wasn't very nice.
I met Shorty. Shorty's my favourite. Because he's the only one whose name I know.
Honest to God, I was like practically, I think I did, crying. I'm almost crying now thinking about it. Creeps me out so much. It's horrible.
Have you looked at the pictures to see what you're like?
I just put one on the Mickey Waffle.
Oh, did you?
WhatsApp, yeah.
That's funny.
It's horrible.
Did you take any pictures of me? No, were you just filming?
Just filming.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
On yours?
I know. I was just wondering because you had your phone out anyway.
Snapshots.
I can.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have done that.
I know, you should have. How rude.
So that was after well, let's go back to the start. So we did Stranger Things.
Stranger Things first, and I was absolutely...
Yeah, and it was alright.
And it was fine.
It was entertaining, wasn't it? Good production value.
Like, I think I sweated all over you, like my hands.
On my back, so it was alright. Soon dried.
Like my hands were so sweaty, and I was like holding on to you. So.
I was a Demogorgon blocker.
Yeah. There wasn't that many actually Demogorgons.
No.
Like last year was really a lot. It was scary last year. This year wasn't as bad.
I found it alright. It was just, lots of Hopper, and then just the various scenes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of scenes. Like there was a lot of kind of characters standing about.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And yeah, there was a lot of static scenes with like models and things, weren't there?
Yeah, like and is it Duncan? What's his name?
Duncan.
Dustin.
Duncan.
In Dustin's room, it was just kind of like a static kind of
demi-dog. What's it called? Target, not Target. What's it called? What's his dog called?
I can't remember.
Target.
You watched it more recently than
man,
me.
what's his dog called? Oh man, I'll have to Google it.
Anyway, yeah, Google it.
Yeah, so
that was static, and then I think
Derek's room, or whatever you called him.
Duncan. Dustin's
room.
Yeah, and when Bob dies.
That was kind of just like in a corner, wasn't it? Just out.
And they were static as well.
Yeah, and I caught that the corner of my eye, just with sounds, wasn't it? Like eating sounds.
Yeah, munching sounds.
Yeah. What's his little demidog called?
Stop the recording and Google
on the back. It's like a stripe, isn't it?
Is it Stripe?
No, it's not called Stripe. That's Gremlins.
Then we did Stranger Things, and then we went straight and did Killer Clowns.
Yes, which was horrible and creepy and freaky.
It
is. If you were a kid in the 80s, Killer Clowns, you never watched it. You just saw the trailer on the start of a lot of videos, and you saw the video box in the video shop, and it creeped you out. It wasn't nice, and it was horrible. Horrible.
It was actually fine.
No, it wasn't.
Well,
Horrible.
for Lloyd, the big scaredy cat, it was not fine, but for me, it was fine. And I'm the biggest scaredy cat, so this guy's weird. Then we rode Transformers.
Yes, that was cool. Enjoyed that.
Yep, it was good. And then what did we do? Did we go straight to
Depths of Fear?
Depths of Fear.
That was cool.
Was
good theme.
Yeah. The facade was cool.
Yeah, the monsters I wasn't too fussed on. They were like just big fish people. But it was kind of
like teeth. They had a lot of teeth.
Yeah, it was like a zombie theme as well. That was
zombie.
Yeah, like the people had been taken over as well.
Oh yeah. Like
so jumping out.
I think they're called like mouth brooders or something like that. Yeah.
Didn't pick up on the name for them.
No, like you wouldn't know the name unless you like knew about it.
Yeah, so that was all right. Preferred the
Nightingales blood
that
pack.
was cool.
That was
good. Really good.
Although I'm kind of gutted I missed the lion scare because there's a big lion animatronic.
Yeah, it was turned off, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was turned off or if we just missed it.
No, because nothing happened before and nothing happened after us and nothing happened as we walked through. So.
They're lying. He's dead.
Don't know. Anyway, there's loads of scare actors, so we got a lot of stuff, didn't we?
We did. What scare zones did we do?
We didn't do Zombieland Double Tap properly.
No, we didn't.
That's what got me the other night because there's so many zombies in there.
No, we didn't. We did the Vikings.
Vikings one. Can't remember what that's called.
It's called Vikings Undead.
Right.
We did
Vanity Ball.
The Roman Chainsaw Horde and Simpsons.
Yep.
And I think that's it.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, we didn't really see the other side, did we? Because we didn't go to the Mummy in the end.
No.
So there's 2 scare zones for you to do on Sunday.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this is your first time at Halloween Horror Nights?
Second with you. I did my first time.
No, but is this your first year?
Yeah.
So what did you think?
Loved it. Really liked it.
Would you do it again?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I like the hack of if you're not into the houses, you can just go and ride everything with no weights.
Yeah.
But go on a Sunday.
Yeah, don't go on a Friday or Saturday.
Sunday or Thursday probably. And I think it was a date on a Wednesday as well at some point.
Yeah,
there's
Wednesdays, Thursdays, Sundays.
Because when I went on the Sunday, I had no wait for any of the rides. I did Ghostbusters with like 20-minute wait as well. Because tonight, early doors, it was okay, but it just got busy so quick, didn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely busy tonight. How was the crowds compared to, was it visibly?
Yeah, massively different.
Yeah, visibly.
Yeah, it's
busier.
probably about 3-4 times more people in there tonight.
Really?
Yeah, loads of people there tonight.
Okay.
But But I do it again. I do the hack. I do the double night ticket because it works out about 30 quid a night or 32 quid a night. I do one night for the rides, and I would do the second night for the houses, or a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go on a Friday or a Saturday.
Yeah.
I'd keep it for like the quiet nights
So
just
you
to
would
get more done.
so you would do houses again then?
Yeah.
And you would
Definitely,
be happy to do them?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not like...
Yeah. They weren't so bad.
Yeah, I just... Like, Killer Clowns was horrible just because it creeps me out from when I was a kid, but the other ones were good.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed
you
them.
got a couple of jumps though.
Yeah, and I got a couple of jumps in. What was it? Nightcrawler one.
Mouth brooder? Or do you mean the Nightingale?
Nightingale.
Nightingale
What did I say?
blood
Nightcrawler. That's a Jake Gyllenhaal film.
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, my
Night
brain's
Monkey.
not working.
What's-
Night Monkey.
Night Monkey. Is that his name?
That's the name. That's the name of Derek's demidog
Duncan.
in Stranger Things. Nightcrawler the demidog. What's he called?
Night Monkey.
What's he called?
I don't know.
Target's sticking in my head. I don't know why. It's not Target.
No, it's not Target.
Strike? No, not Strike. Strike. I can't remember.
Anyway,
leave the comments below. Tell us the name of Dave's demidog in Stranger Things.
just different D names.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. I wasn't as scared as I thought it was going to be. I was really scared going into Stranger Things, but after I'd done that, it kind of made me feel better because it was going to go one of two ways. It was either going to make me more scared or make me feel much better, and it made me feel much better.
Well, it was production over sort of random scares, wasn't it? So yeah, it worked really well. And Upside Down worked really well.
Yeah, so we got 4 houses done, 2 rides, and a show.
And 2 drinks.
Well, you had 2 drinks.
For $1 million.
And I had Twisted Taters. Oh yeah, I had Twisted Taters.
Value on the Twisted Taters, $8 including tax.
I honestly don't even know.
I think it was $7.50 plus tax. Worth it?
Yeah. I don't know. That doesn't sound very.
I don't think anything's worth it.
I mean, I got the sour cream and chive flavour. There's 4 flavours. So there's sour cream and chive, seasoned salt and vinegar, and what was the other one?
Can't remember.
Garlic parmesan.
Good call.
What did you think of the Twisted Taters?
I liked it. Well, I had a couple. Yeah, it was tasty. It was
You had
nice.
like half. I gave you like half.
Yeah, and then I had like sour cream dust all
like
over my
dust,
face.
I know.
So I was tasting them for hours afterwards. Yeah, I enjoyed them. I should have got some pizza fries now. I do regret it.
I know.
And I should have got some s'mores fries, and I should have compared them.
Amateur.
Never mind.
Rookie, I tried to get you to.
And you do it Sunday.
No, I don't like pizza fries or s'mores fries.
Or get Liz to do
I'll
s'mores
see.
fries and pizza fries and compare.
She probably won't.
Get someone to just compare. Or find
Just
someone who's got the different type of
some
fries.
random like
just
kicking
compare
about.
Yeah.
But yeah, how much was your alcohol?
My alcohol was very, very expensive. It was the amount you'd pay for a 6-pack in Walmart for 1 drink. But it's the same everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's no different than other places. I paid a couple of dollars more to get the souvenir glass. But yeah, it's expensive everywhere to have beer.
Nice.
What I would say is probably if you're going to spend that amount of money, just get the cocktail ones because you get more, don't you? You get more of a pour.
I don't know. Do you?
You were saying before, any sort of bar you go to, if you get like a drink.
Oh
they
yeah,
give you
like they're
more of a pour.
super strong. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, was there cocktails at that booth that you went
Yeah,
to?
actually though they were pre-mixed, so you wouldn't have got more for your money.
That's
Think
true.
about it. So yeah, I'd say just don't have a drink. I'd say just have water, pizza fries, and have a drink back from your Walmart beers in your room later on.
So, thank you for letting me spit on you.
Oh yeah, no
Right.
worries. No worries.
And being-
I enjoy being a human shield.
Yeah.
It gets me man points.
Yeah, it really helped me. Like,
Yeah.
you made me feel safe.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I didn't feel safe in Killer Clowns. Thank you.
I made what?
I felt worse. I felt
Did
like I
you?
couldn't get away because you were dragging on my back.
I wasn't
I felt
dragging
like I was
on your
trapped.
back.
I couldn't move.
Oh my gosh.
It was a horrible experience.
Oh my god.
But I'd do
Lies.
it again.
I was the best part of that, don't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were.
No, I thought Killer Clowns was great. Anyway, we're going over old grounds.
Yes,
but...
we are. We're going over old ground.
Okay.
Dart.
Dart.
That's the name of.
Oh my god, that sounds
That's
familiar.
the name of Trevor's dog in Stranger Things.
Trevor.
Dustin's demidog. It's called Dart.
Duncan.
I knew I'd remember by the end. I didn't even Google it because I'm
Dart?
holding the phone.
Are you sure it's Dart though?
It's definitely Dart.
Like, are we 100%?
It's definitely Dart. Yeah, I'm 100% sure it's Dart.
Right, you're gonna have to Google it. on camera.
Don't Google it.
No, you're gonna have to
Leave a
Google
comment below to say Lloyd was right, it was Dart, and Sammie
Lloyd,
was wrong.
I wasn't wrong. I didn't give a name.
We also missed out on Men in Black. I thrashed Sammie completely, even though she knew how to play it and I didn't.
He obviously did know how to play it. He faked me out.
What was I? 350,500.
You were 200,000 more than me points wise.
Yeah, I was 355,500.
I was like 1-3 something.
Yeah, and you've played it before.
So
I know I have, but I don't know what to do. You had to tell me.
Oh my god,
shoot
this is a lie, right? Because he was like, "What's that red button?" And then he knew exactly when to press the red button.
Because a voice above said, "Press the red button."
I don't look untrustworthy. Look at that face, untrustworthy. What else? It does.
That's us, I think. Wrapped up.
That's us.
This is Sammie and Lloyd signing off for the Great British Mickey Waffle.
If you've got any questions about Halloween Horror Nights, just kind of message us on social media or leave a comment or kind of get in touch anyway.
Yeah, and waffle on.
Waffle on!
Thank you, Lloyd and Sammie. It sounds like you had a great evening. I still stand by my earlier point of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party being more my thing. It's now the part of the show where we invite you to tell us about what you are celebrating in your lives, the Mickey Mentions. We have 2 mentions this month, and the first one is from our very own Claire.
So just for a change, Claire is off to Disneyland Paris on the 18th of October with her friend for an adults-only girly trip to experience the Halloween season offerings. It's the one seasonal festival that she hasn't had the chance to go to, which is shocking because she's been to a lot. So is looking forward to the new parade and show, but perhaps not so much for the 3 new experiences as part of Tower of Terror. A trip to Cafe Fantasia will definitely happen, if only to check all is in working order, of course. So have fun, Claire. I mean, when are you never here?
Say hello for us, Claire.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We've also received a request from Linda, who is heading to Florida on the 24th of October with her hubby, Tony, their son and daughter-in-law, Matthew and Claire, daughter and son-in-law, Amy and Simon, their grandchildren, Joshua and Taylor, together with Funkle, that's Fun Uncle, their brother-in-law, Graham. They're staying for 21 nights in a villa at Champions Gate with tickets for Disney, Universal, NASA, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, and the Christmas party in Magic Kingdom. Have a fantastic time, Linda, from everyone on the Great British Mickey Waffle.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah, 21 days. Wow, 21 days sounds great.
We also would like to give a little shout out to a couple of people that Peter and I met on our recent trip to DLP. We got chatting to Cheryl and Paul from Making the Magic Happen, and they said that they would give us a listen. So hi Cheryl and Paul, if you're listening to us. A guy from Bangor, Northern Ireland, called Andy. Hi Andy. And of course the DLP legend that is Curious Axel. And check out his YouTube channel if you haven't already.
As always, we are frightfully happy that you've decided to join us for our waffling, and we would like to say a huge thank you to all of our listeners. We appreciate the time you've taken to listen, and we would love it if you could rate and review our show. If you would like your very own Mickey mention on a future show, whether it's for a birthday, anniversary or holiday announcement, you can email us at themickeywaffle@gmail.com. You can also follow us on all the various social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. Waffle on!
Waffle on!
Waffle on, everyone!